East side, west side, it doesn't matter what side you're on because this morning, well, by the time this comes out, it'll probably be afternoon, but you are on the best side. I'm Daniel Kellom, and welcome to episode 45. 45, we're all synced up here, and apologies for not having a Wednesday release. Had some things that I had to get done, and hope you will forgive me for that, but still giving you this week's episode. Please give me all of your hate mail. And here's my coffee. That's a nice cup of Joe. All right, let's get into it, huh? Okay. Yeah, so I had I had all my pre-show stuff planned out. Look at all this pre-show everywhere. And it was for yesterday. It was for August 23rd, and today's August 24th. So I wanted to just go ahead and do the August 23rd because I already had it all planned out and, fuck you. All right. So this was actually a pretty eventful day yesterday/today. And in the year 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius begins stirring on the feast day of Vulcan, the Roman god of fire. Why did I say Roman? Because I was going to say Romulan because of Star Trek. Vulcans, Romulans. You can see where they got that from now. The Roman god of fire was Vulcan. That's a cool name. Siege of Jerusalem, 1244. And then this one was particularly interesting. Sir William Wallace is executed for high treason at Smithfield, London. Sir William Wallace, who was played by Mel Gibson in the movie Dragonheart. Just kidding. It was Braveheart. Let's get into the birthdays real quick. Gene Kelly, American actor, singer, and dancer. Shelley Long from Cheers. Rick Springfield, guitarist, singer-songwriter. River Phoenix, one of the what if actors. He was going to be the next Leo, or he was going to be the next It guy. Scott Conn, son of James Conn, and then of course now today is the recognized day, but yesterday was Kobe Bryant's birthday. Happy birthday, Kobe. And today is Mamba Day because the date is 8/24. So those were his two jersey numbers when he played in the NBA. 8/24. So today's Mamba Day. Yesterday was Kobe Bryant Day. Still can't believe he's gone. And happy birthday, Kobe. Let's see. We're gonna keep going down. And Little Yachty's birthday today. Okay. All right. So, over the weekend, I'm a little late here, but over the weekend, there was a hurricane in the Pacific Ocean coming up through Baja California, and had many people in Southern California concerned. And a hurricane over here is unusual because, from what I read, the waters need to be pretty warm for a hurricane to happen, and that just doesn't happen over here on the Pacific Ocean. That's why we rarely get hurricanes over on the West Coast over here. And this is what I read, I think. So, but I guess it was really odd because I don't know if the ocean's getting warmer or just this time of year. There was a hurricane forming. And then eventually it dissipated and just turned into a tropical storm. And San Diego was on high alert, and I think it just barely went over them. And then L.A., Orange County, was on alert as well, and stores were closing. It was a pretty big thing. Had me kind of worried. But then by the time it came over, it was just pretty windy and raining throughout the day. So luckily lucked out there. However, I know someone who lives in Palm Springs, and they received flood damage, like heavy floods, and their home was had substantial damage from flooding because Palm Springs, they only get like 3 inches of rain, I think, like a year or something like that. And then I think he was saying like something like we'll be getting 4 inches, 5 inches of rain in a day, which is incredibly not good. So yeah, Palm Springs, I think in that area, the whole desert area in California, had terrible flooding, So, and then I'm reading like people in LA like, see what happens, like nothing happened. The media wants to scare you. It's like, yeah, where you are, you self-centered bitch. Think about other people. This just doesn't affect you. So, yeah, very fortunate that the damage didn't come to us really. So, yeah, I figured we had to talk about that big storm. I guess the last time like a hurricane came in this area was in 1939, I think, and I guess that was pretty bad. But yeah, hopefully we don't have one of those again. And then there was an earthquake. There was an earthquake that was I think it was like a 5.0 earthquake up in Ojai. It was up in Ojai. And I was actually taking a nap, and I was like, felt a quick jolt, and I was like, I think it was an earthquake. I don't know. Was that just me just moving I don't know. And eventually I got an alert from the Citizen app saying earthquake. It's like, oh, that was okay. So yeah, stormquake is what happened. I was like, oh god, what's next? What is next? But very fortunate to have the minimal damage. Did that seem longer than usual? So last week I came across an article, and by the way, I got a haircut. Yesterday. No more. It actually looks good right now, Maybe I should take the hat off. But it still falls in the face, so we'll keep it off for now. Anyways, yeah, last week I came across an article about something that happened 40 years ago from these astronomers in Japan. They sent here, let me see. In 1983, they shot out a message that consisted of 13 drawings and it depicted the progression of life on Earth, from single-cell organisms to fish to lizards to apes and finally us. I'm on Newsweek, and they sent it out, and they were like crude illustrations. They weren't, and they were transmitted from Stanford University in the form of radio signals headed towards the star Altair, which is 16.7 light years away from Earth within the Aquila constellation. So, and I guess apparently it takes 40 years for that signal to get there, and I guess the 40 years happened. So I guess last week recently was the earliest moment in time that we would potentially receive a reply message from extraterrestrials living in that area. Don't know if we've gotten it yet. Don't know if the government's hiding it, The expected date for any possible future response was August 22nd. Thus far, there has been no news of first contact. So, nothing yet. These aliens could be a little tardy on things, a little late. They could be also scared. Or maybe the aliens that got this aren't even intelligent yet, and they're very, and they just went to a planet with aliens that are just didn't even realize it happened. But either way, I guess a couple days ago was the earliest we could receive these messages. So I think it is pretty cool. I think Stephen Hawking, I think, was just like, do not send messages out, you idiots. Was it Stephen Hawking or Carl Sagan? Yeah, I think it was Stephen Hawking. It was like, bad idea. Like, what are you doing? But I don't know. Us humans are a curious bunch, aren't we? Aren't we a curious bunch? All right. Let's see, what are we on now? On to the next. I honestly could continue to talk about this, but I just feel like we're just beating a dead horse at this point. I'm not going to stop talking about aliens, but this whole maybe I'll retract that statement. It is a pretty interesting story. I think it's incredibly interesting, actually. This is what there's another article. This is what alien life in our solar system might look like. Okay. Yeah. All right. Aliens are here. All right. Yeah. So over the weekend, I watched, not for the first time, obviously, but I revisited a movie of mine. Not my movie, but a movie that I enjoy. I'm a huge fan of, and I always forget that I'm such a fan of this movie when I watch it. And it's Kill Bill, written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. I watched Volume 1 specifically. I'm gonna finish Volume 2, and I always forget. This is a movie. If you want to watch a movie, this is a movie. If you know what I mean. Just the rewatch value is amazing on it too. The action's amazing still. It's crazy that's at this point it's 20 years old. That's insane. Amazing storyline. I love vengeance movies. The writing is clever and funny. That's what Tarantino does. I think he writes very clever and funny dialogue for his characters. And if you haven't seen this movie for some reason, definitely watch it. Volume 1 and 2. And then there's rumors that Volume 3 was going to happen, but I guess Tarantino he already announced what his last movie is going to be. It's called The Critic or something. So probably Volume 3 probably won't happen. But yeah, it was that a loud one? No. But yeah, Uma Thurman plays, her name's the bride in it. Her real name's Beatrix Kiddo. And then her nickname was Black Mamba. So I was like, oh, look at that. That was Kobe Bryant's nickname too, that he took from Kill Bill, was Black Mamba. And even the logo on her sword, on the Hattori Hanzo's sword, is the Black Mamba logo that Kobe had on his shoes. So I always wonder, did Kobe have to ask Quentin Tarantino for that logo or something? Very similar, logo styles. So I was wondering that. But yeah, pretty cool. It was funny. Vivica A. Fox is in it, and I think her name was because all the assassins in that team, they all had snake names, and I forgot what her name was. It wasn't Cottonmouth. That was Lucy Liu's. But her name, she had another snake name, and she was like, "Bitch, I should be Black Mamba." I laughed at that. I'm excited to watch Volume 2 again because Michael Madsen, he's a funny guy. Anyways, Kill Bill Volume 1. Forget how great movies can be, if you're watching the same shit all the time. Who does that? I don't know. But holds up well. What's it on? I think I watched it on Prime, Amazon Prime. If you have an Amazon Prime account, it's on there. Yeah, really good. I love it. And I love the scene when she goes and sees Hattori Hanzo, and he's like retired, and he's making sushi now, and then he realizes like why she's there, because she wants to get a sword made, and he's like, "Fuck." Very, very good movie. Very good movie. Okay. Wow, we're in the questions already. The questions, huh? We're in the questions? Yeah, I think we are. Okay, all right. Fuck me. Oh, wait, one more. Hello? All right. We got 2 this week. Brian doesn't write in anymore. Hey, okay, we got Kyle from Tracy. Hey, Weather Dan. Hope you are weathering through Hurricane Hilary and the earthquake. I'm sure California wildfire season will get jump started again from lightning storms. California also saw possible tornado warnings. Yeah, that's, I think, in like the Central Valley maybe. I think there was a tornado warning in LA actually last year, or was it very recently? I don't know, but yeah, crazy. Which obviously made me think of movies about natural disasters. What are your favorite natural disaster movies? Twister is one of my favorite movies growing up, and I'm also partial to 2012 with John Cusack. Shout out Roland Emmerich. You know which one is not my favorite? The Happening by M. Night. I like that one. I showed my wife clips of it, and she didn't believe me that it was a real movie. Such an intentionally funny movie, though. Anyways, here's to sunny days ahead, especially excessively sunny and hot days thanks to global warming. Kyle from Tracy. Sent from Earth's core with Hilary Swank. Yeah. Yeah, some of my favorite natural disaster movies. I actually made a list for you here. And these are in no order, or are they? I think I did put them in order, actually. No, I didn't put them in order. I didn't put these ones in order. Actually, I think I did. No. Anyways, I don't know. All right. So I think I have 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I have 7. I have 7 here. All right. Here we go. San Andreas. San Andreas with The Rock, Carlo Gugino, Alexandra Daddario, Paul Giamatti's in it. Yeah, San Andreas, about the San Andreas Fault, giant earthquake. Definitely sparked my fear of earthquakes. Saw that in theaters. Next one is Contagion. This one is about it's about a deadly disease that spreads around the world. I think that's a natural disaster, right? I think this movie is kind of like underrated. I think with the ratings it got and with the cast that is in it, I think very underrated movie. And I remember during the pandemic, like the height of the pandemic in 2020, this movie like was starting to get popular again. Everyone was watching it, and crazy. Okay, the next one is Armageddon. Of course, how could you leave off Armageddon? When an asteroid threatens to collide with Earth, NASA honcho Dan Truman, Billy Bob Thornton, determines the only way to stop it is to drill into its surface and detonate a nuclear bomb. Crazy premise, very fun premise, directed by Michael Bay. Bruce Willis, Liv Tyler, Ben Affleck, Steve Buscemi, Billy Bob Thornton, Owen Wilson. Very, very good cast. I think the general consensus nowadays and what Dart is doing is you don't want to put a bomb in it because it'll explode and all the fragments will go everywhere, right? What they're doing is they're putting some sort of rocket or propellant on there and fastening itself to the asteroid, and then launching it a certain way, just a little bit, and then if you do that, its trajectory will miss Earth. I think that's what Dart is trying to do now, and which is I think a lot of money should be going into that. That's my opinion. I think a lot of money should be going into space programs, because of the unknown out there. You never know when a giant asteroid's going to come. All right, next one is Twister, of course. I think you said Twister, Kyle. Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt, Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace. During the approach of the most powerful storm of decades, Helen Hunt and an underfunded team of students prepare for the prototype for Dorothy, a groundbreaking tornado-gathering device conceived when her estranged husband, Bill Paxton, conceived by her estranged husband, Bill Paxton. So, very fun movie. I think this movie is really fun. I actually want to watch it again. Man, crazy that's it. It's from 1996 at this point. Aren't like good action movies from the 90s fun? All right, the next one is 2012. I remember seeing this in theaters. A lot of hype around this movie. Roland Emmerich, he jumped on the opportunity because the whole thing was like the world's ending December 21st, 2012. That's what everyone was thinking because it was like on the Mayan calendar or something. And this movie came out on November 13th, so like a month before the world was ending. So everyone's like, well, is this the last movie we're going to see? And it's about the world ending? Very meta. Is that the right word? 2012. Oh, it only has a 5.8 on IMDb. I guess, I don't know. John Cusack, Amanda Peet, Woody Harrelson, Chiwetel Ejiofor. I always get his name. I need to know how to say his name. He's a great actor. 2012. It was an insane movie. It's just like wherever they were. I just remember like wherever they were going, like something awful was happening. And then like the waves going over the Himalayas and things like that. And Earth's billions of inhabitants are unaware that the planet has an expiration date. With warnings of an American scientist, world leaders begin secret preparation for the survival of select members of society. When the global cataclysm finally occurs, failed writer. Why is it's always like a failed or struggling writer that is like thrust into these situations, tries to lead his family to safety as the world starts falling apart. Okay, you're going to play a failed writer. Okay. All right. 2012. And okay, this next movie is actually really good. It got really good reviews, and I actually watched it for the first time a few months ago, and based on a true story, and it's The Impossible. It's The Impossible, starring Ewan McGregor, Naomi Watts, and then a young Tom Holland plays their son. He was great in it. It's based on December 2004, close-knit family and their three sons begin their winter vacation in Thailand. But the day after the Christmas, the holiday turns into incomprehensible nightmare when a terrifying roar rises depths from the sea. So it's a giant tsunami. And this was based on a true story, the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami that completely devastated the Southeast Asian region. And I think they're American, right? Yeah, this family was vacationing there for Christmas, and it was a terrible event that happened, but they made it into a great movie. I'll tell you what. Yeah, this was a good movie. If you haven't seen this movie, I think it's on, what's it on? YouTube, Amazon Prime, Pluto, Plex. Yeah, this movie like is really good. And then finally, probably my favorite movie out of these, I don't know, a little bit of recency bias, I guess, is Don't Look Up. I really enjoyed Don't Look Up, directed by Adam McKay, Leo, Jennifer Lawrence, Kate Blanchett, Timothy Chalamet. Meryl Streep was the president. It was like a comedy. It was kind of like an idiocracy kind of movie where it was like a comedy, but it's like, oh my God, we're so stupid. And yeah, two low-level astronomers must go on a giant media tour to warn mankind of an approaching comet that will destroy planet Earth. And yeah, this movie is really good. Rotten Tomatoes only gives it a 55%. Wow. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. And if you haven't seen this, it came out a couple years ago on Netflix, still on Netflix. And yeah. So those are my favorite natural disaster movies, Kyle. And hope that answers your questions. Okay, all right. Next one we have. Build the suspense here. Next one we have Boran from Washington. Hi, Daniel. If you were to recast the Avengers for a rebooted film, who would your all-star cast be? You don't have to do the entire cast, but here's a list for reference. Captain America, Iron Man, Ant-Man, Thor, Hulk, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Black Panther, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Falcon, said Falcon twice, Spider-Man, Vision, Hot Guy, Black Widow, and Nick Fury. Thanks, Boran. Sent USPS ground. Yeah, thanks, Boran. Yeah, so a lot of characters on this list. And I think I put together a list of the original, what was it, 5 of them? The original 6. I put together a list of the original 6 and then Nick Fury. And then I want to cast Nick Fury. So first of all, this is the list I put together. There could be some debate on a few of them, but it's hard, rebooting this cast because so many actors have been in the MCU. So it's like, it's hard trying to find actors who have not been in the MCU that you could, distinguish from. Is that the word? No, that you can, find. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we'll start with Iron Man. And for Iron Man, you also want to have actors who are like not in their 60s, because if you're rebooting the series, if you're rebooting the Avengers, you kind of expect to have, multiple films that will span over, 5 to 10 years. So you kind of don't want to get these actors that are in their like late 50s, in their 60s, because they'll be old men by the time, you expect them to be superheroes. So that was also a big challenge. So let's get into it. For Iron Man, I know he's kind of old, but I think Iron Man is old, right? He's kind of older, but I think he could pass. And for Iron Man, I have Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, if you imagine Leo in Inception, that's what I kind of imagine him to look like, except with like a goatee kind of beard style. And you need star power to launch this thing. And I think Tom Cruise could have been it, 10 years ago. But I think Leo would actually be a good Iron Man if he sunk himself into the role. Next, for Captain America, I have Scott Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's son. I think he would be a great Captain America, actually. Yeah. Sorry, had a burp. Oh my God, that was a bad one. Oh, oof. Anyways, yeah, Scott Eastwood to play Captain America, I think would do a great job. Hold on, are we still going? Let's Oh yeah, don't use. Sorry. Yeah, 30. It did the thing again. It's been doing the thing. All right. Yeah, Scott Eastwood as Captain America. All right, next for Black Widow. I think if she was put on like a lifting regiment and I think if she like gained a little bit of muscle, I think she could be a good Black Widow. And that is Jenna Ortega. Thinking about someone who hasn't been in the MCU, who's on the younger side. And I have Jenna Ortega. Now, I think Black Widow does usually have red hair. I mean, that's what we think of Scarlett Johansson. And in the comics, I think she does have red hair. I originally had her as Scarlet Witch. I think she could have been a good Scarlet Witch. But I'm just thinking of, you just dye her hair red, right? And I think she could be a great female lead in a Marvel movie if she hasn't yet, So Jenna Ortega is Black Widow. And then for Thor, this one was actually pretty hard. So it's kind of hard to imagine someone not Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I mean, it's hard to imagine any of these characters as as someone else. So for this one, I have Alexander Skarsgård. I think his role in The Northman kind of put me in that mind frame of he could play a Norse god. Obviously I think he's got to bulk up, get on the Disney steroids, and bulk up a little more. He's kind of like he's very lean. I could see he's on the lean, but he's got muscles, But I think he should definitely beef up for the role. But I could see Alexander Skarsgård as Thor. All right. And now we are on to the Hulk. I think for the Hulk, you have to have another big star to pair with Leo. Like A-list star, because, I guess there are A-list stars, but I wanted a big star for Hulk. And not only a big star for Hulk, I wanted someone who was a good actor. Not saying that these other ones aren't actors, but someone who's like a distinguished actor, and I think he would kill it as the Hulk. He might be on a little bit of the older side. He's 48, but you can hide that. I think it would work. And for the Hulk, Bruce Banner, I have Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix, I think, would be he'd be fantastic in anything, but he'd be an amazing Bruce Banner and the Hulk. So Joaquin Phoenix as Hulk. And then for Nick Fury, I'm torn between two actors for Nick Fury. And the first one is Denzel Washington. I think he could be a good Nick Fury. But then this next one, you know what? I gotta say, I think this next guy would be a great Nick Fury. So the first one was Denzel Washington. This one, I have Timothy Olyphant for Nick Fury, and I think he would be a fantastic Nick Fury, personally. I'm torn between. What do you guys think? What do you think out there? Should it be Olyphant or Denzel Washington for Nick Fury? Anyways, those are my picks. Maybe someday we'll get into other ones like Spider-Man and Vision and Hot Guy. And thank you, Boran, for writing in. Question is also the name of it. Question. Okay. That's it for the questions. And that is it for the episode today. Again, sorry for having a late release, and it's tough. It's tough having a weekly podcast. Doing everything myself. I don't have a production. I'm not trying to make excuses here, I guess, but I'm trying to give you guys and gals content every week, and damn it, I'm gonna do it. And sometimes it might not come out on Wednesday, like I promise, but it will come out that week. I assure you that. So have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your week, rest of your day. If you're watching this, please subscribe and like the YouTube channel and videos. Please, please, please. And then if you're an audio guy or audio girl, audio person, please subscribe to wherever you get your podcast. I need subscribers, please, to keep this thing afloat. And we're having a lot of fun here. We're on episode 45. Episode 50 is coming up. I want to do something special for it. And I'd like to have, a little more people tuning in. So thanks for tuning in this week. I think we had a lot of fun. What do you think? I think we had fun too, Daniel. Okay, let's go. Bye.